Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the MVP Sports Studio tutorial for Football Template 50. At MVP, our goal is to provide you with the professional templates, tutorials, and tools you need to celebrate the achievements of your MVP. I'm Steve Fuller, and I'm excited to bring you this tutorial. First, let's get prepared. You will need the typeface League Gothic from typewolf.com, Nor'Wester from fontsquirrel.com, and Cairo from defont.com added to your system fonts. They are totally free fonts. You should have an image of your athlete and logo with the background removed. We have tutorials that walk you through that process, so if you don't have that prepared, please check those out first. If you have that ready, we can get started. And as we look here in Photoshop, you will see that I have football template number 50 open. Also, if you look at this tab up here, I've got the image of the athlete that I want to use and without any background so that he can be moved easily up into this template. So I'm going to click back on this tab for the football template, and I'm back here. All right. First thing that we can approach is this type group. And we know it's a group because it's got this little arrow to the left right here. And we're going to click on that, and you'll see that inside of that group, there are a number of different type layers. Now we're here in this layer window. You're also going to want to have your property window available and your color window available. All right. The first two layers in the type group are the players, the athlete's number, and his name. And we're going to go ahead and change that. And so this top one, I'm going to go over to the eye icon and turn it on and off so I know which one I'm working with. This top one is the name here to the right hand side. So with that layer selected, I'll go over to the type tool. The type tool is just the tool over here with the letter T, and I'll click on that, and now I've got my type tool icon. I'll come right over here to the name, and I'll go right to the end around the E and click on it. And you can see I am on the bottom half of that E, and I want to get to the top, so I'm going to click up here a little bit. There we go. And there's a line underneath this type and right here at the top. And with that flashing cursor line going, I will click and drag right across the name. So we're going to change that now. I will put in the athlete's name that I want to. And of course, you'd be doing your athlete's name. So I am changing that to a name I'm making up. There we go. Nice. Now you'll notice that even though I finished with the new name, I still have this blinking cursor and the line underneath my type. That's because I need to get out of the type tool. Now, in order to do that, I just need to select a tool, come over here to my toolbar and click on it. In this case, I'm just going to select the Move tool and click. And that gets me out of the type tool. You see, I don't have those lines under here anymore. Great. Now, something I need to tell you about is that sometimes if you select the type tool and you select it too far away from the type, you might actually get a new layer of type. If that happens, it's no problem. All you have to do is get out of your type tool by clicking on one of the tools here in the toolbar, and then coming over to your layer window. And with that layer selected, just click, and we're going to drag it down here to the trash, and it's all gone. No problem. All right, let's do the same technique on the second player's name. and I've selected it here in my layer. I'm coming over to get my type tool, clicking on the T. This time I'm going to just click here on the top of the 5. Oh, I've got it. I can see this line is blinking, and I've got the line underneath that. But let's get it in a little closer. So I'm going to get out of my type tool, and I'm going to get the zoom tool. The zoom tool is down here at the bottom of your toolbar. Just click on that, and then bring your little magnifier, your zoom tool, and it's got the plus in it, so we'll hit it a couple times. Great. Now I'll get my type tool. Now that I'm in a little bit closer, I'm going to select right at the top of the 5. I've got my blinking cursor. I've got my line underneath it. Excellent. Now I'm going to click and drag over top of the name. Oops, I didn't get the whole thing that time. So I'll do that same thing again. All the way down. Got it. Now I'll put in my name. Good. That's looking good. I like it. And now I have to get out of my type tool. So I will go over and select the move tool. All right. Now let's get our zoom tool again here. Bring it over. And I'm going to hold down Alt or Option, depending on whether you're on a PC or a Mac. I'll hold that down. I'll get the minus symbol in there, and I'm zooming out. There we go. Okay, so we've got the names changed. Now we're going to come down to the team name. And I've selected the Bruins, which is the stand-in name. I'm going to get the type tool. Click on the T. I'll come over to just to the right of the S. Great. And now I will click and drag over top of the name. We'll change this. All right, we've got the name Cougars. Now you'll notice that the name here is taking up quite a bit of space, and it's a bigger name than what was there before. So I'm going to click and drag across this, and if you like this, you can keep it just like that if you like, but I'm going to reduce the space in between the letters a little bit. So I've got my Cougars all selected. I'm going to come over here to Properties, and I will scroll down until I see this character area. Now in this box, it's labeled VA. That controls the amount of space that's in between the letters. Right now I've got it set up at about 100. Let's see what that looks like at half that size. Okay, that's pulling in the name a little bit. I might go to 20. Let's see. Yeah, that's more what I'm thinking. And again, this is a subjective thing. I think that looks a little better with that particular word. All right, and we're still in the type tool, so we have to get out of it. We're going to click on the move tool, and that gets us out of it. I think that's looking great. All right, the last name we need to change is what I call the location layer. So we'll get our zoom tool. And we've clicked on that. Now we'll just click a couple times to get a little bit closer. I'm using my scroll wheel to try to get this centered a little bit better. That's looking good. Now we'll need our type tool. We'll just go over, click on the T, and click right just to the right of the H. Got it. And I'll click and drag over top of it. And we'll put in a new name. All right, it's looking good. Now I will get out of the type field and click on my move tool. Great. All right, let's zoom out of that. Get our zoom tool. Hold down Alt or Option. Great. Okay, we've got those type changes. The next is the athlete group. And within the athlete group, if you open that group up by just clicking on the little arrow, you will see that there is an athlete placeholder, and that's right there. We're going to want to put our athlete inside of this group because there's a layer mask here. And what that layer mask does is it affects everything within that group, and you can see how the player is kind of faded out down here. That's the look we're going for. So let's click on Athlete Group, and then go up to your tab that has your athlete. Click on that, and we're going to want to get the Move tool. So let's go over right here at the top is your Move tool. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click and drag him up to this tab, and then I'll bring it back down and let it go. All right, so click and drag, bring him up to the football template tab, come on down here, let it go, we'll say okay. There he is. Excellent. So now I'm just clicking and dragging in order to put him more of the area that I want him. Great. Now, do I want to make him a little bigger, a little smaller? We'll try to figure that out here as we get him positioned. Great. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to get my zoom tool. I'll click on Alt or Option. Good, good. All right. Now the placeholder that I have in there is just a suggestion for how much area your athlete should take up. That's totally up to you. I'm going to size this athlete down a little bit. So in order to do that, I'm going to go up here to Edit, and then come on down to Free Transform. And we get this nice little box around the athlete. And you'll see these handles. I'm just going to go to this handle that's in the center left. I'm going to click and drag, make him a little bit smaller. Click and drag over on this right handle. I think that's fine. He's looking good. Once you're happy with that, hit Return or Enter. All right. Now I want him to move up just a little bit, and I can do that by using my Move tool and moving him up, or with my Move tool selected, I can use the arrow keys just to have him go up a little bit with a little more precision. All right, he's looking good. Now come on over to your athlete group, to your athlete placeholder, and over on the eye icon, just turn that off. Excellent. All right, now we're going to come on down to the color group. We'll open up the color group by clicking on the little arrow, and you'll see in this layer there is the color layer. Now the color layer is designed that all you have to do is change this color and it will impact all of the various colors that are in here. All right, so all we're going to need to do is select our color, and there's a number of ways that you can do that. One way is to come up here to the color window and move around the sliders to create a blue. You can select a blue, select any color you want. From this, there's also various other ways to do it by using this little this area here. If you click on it, you'll get a variety of different types of ways to select color. But what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to go over and get my eyedropper tool. I'm going to select that. I'm going to go over here and pick a color in the uniform. All right, so I've got a color. Now I have in my color group, I've got color selected. All I need to do is come over and get what's called the paint bucket tool. Okay, it looks like a little paint bucket. Click on that, click anywhere in your image, and your color will change. And if you're happy with that, great. And I think I'd like to go just a little bit darker. So what I'll do is look for a little darker blue perhaps. Let's see, that's a little darker. I've selected that area. I'm going to now get my paint bucket and I'll click on here. Yep, it's getting better. I think I like that. That's pretty neat. All right, so we've got that color. We've adjusted this, and that's all we need to do. The next step is just to save it out. So I will come up here to File, Save As. Okay, and I've got a folder that I'm saving this in. I'm going to call this Football Poster. And I like to be able to connect it with a particular athlete, especially if you're doing a number of these. And I'll put the number in. Of course, you do whatever you want. This is just a suggestion. I've got the Photoshop format option selected, and I'll just hit save. Okay, so that's saving my Photoshop version of this. In case I want to go back, adjust the color, change the name, whatever. See, Photoshop is saving. It's all done. Now I'm going to go back to File, Save As, and we'll save out a JPEG copy. So it's got the same name, Football Poster 99. I'm going to change the format to JPEG, and then I'll save it. OK. Just click on OK. OK, it's thinking. Good. Now I'm going to have to open up that JPEG that I just saved. It just finished saving. We'll go to File, Open, and I'm in the folder that I need to be. I'm going to go to Football Poster, the JPEG version. Great. All right, so here we have our new football poster. We've got a JPEG, and we want to get it ready for however we plan to use it. Now, if we go up here to Image and go to Image Size, you'll get this nice little image size window. And right now, mine is set up in pixels. But let's change that to inches by clicking on the word pixels, selecting inches. Right now, we're 20 by 25. And you may want to print this. Let's change that 25 to a 20. Now we have a 16 by 20. That's a very common size. If you wanted to just do an 8 by 10, you would type in a 10 and this would automatically change. And do an OK, and that would save it out. If you want to do something online, you may go all the way down to a 2, maybe a 2.5. That's just over 1 megabyte. That's pretty good. It all depends on what your final use is, but you get the idea of how you can just dial in the numbers that you need for whatever your final usage is and be able to send that off. It's not unusual for me to have a number of different JPEGs at different resolutions for different uses. All right, and hit cancel there. I just wanted to show you how that's done. All right, that about does it for this template. Thanks for watching, and thanks for purchasing this template. If you have any comments to make this tutorial better, please leave a comment. If you have purchased this template and created a poster or some special image for your MVP, please share it with us on our Facebook page, MVP Sports Studio. We would love to see it. Thanks a lot.